This is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I want to talk about dry farming rare tropical fruit trees in Florida. There's so many YouTube videos that do these taste tests of mangoes, and I don't watch them because I do my own taste tests, or have, and you kind of got to assume that all the mangoes that they're taste testing are not organic, basically. I just checked the organic integrity database online, and I see we're like the only organic farm in Florida that grows mangoes. And it's really important to be verified, because today people seem a little bit more slack with the truth. And if they're able to gaslight it as something, then they somehow assimilate it to being okay. And I have started all of our trees without ever watering any of them. I don't water any of our plants when I plant them. I never have. And I planted more than 3,000 tropical fruit trees. And I know that 70 different species. And I like the large fruited stuff. I like all the top tier mangoes. As you can see, we get coconut cream mangoes in August, maybe September, though it looks like it's going to be August. And I hoard all the plants just like you guys, or I kind of have slowed down because I don't hoard the little fruited stuff. I'm not really into mulberries, and I kind of like the Cherry of the Rio Grandes. I like having the mulberries for the birds, but I'm not going to propagate millions and millions of mulberries and plant them around. I don't have time, and I'm kind of lazy. So I'm a plant hoarder, and so this is probably my worst plant hoarding experience. Was the Monstera deliciosa. They call it Albo, but I think it's supposed to be Alba with an A, but what do I know? And I bought one of those nodes. Those 1.5 inch nodes. There it is. It's got a little white on it, and it looks like the next leaf is going to have a little white on it. But it was an 1.5 inch node that I bought for myself for Christmas and didn't tell anyone. Well, just another plant hoarder. But and then we got 31 degrees, and I'm like, watch this thing, and that was like $150 for a freaking Monstera deliciosa. It's crazy. But it's doing fine. It's growing. So I don't believe that anything needs to be watered in Florida. Does water help? It helps you get the plant to the height that you need to feel comfortable. It's not always important for the tree to get huge quickly. And I know that dry farming is a known method to improve flavor in food crops. It's especially notable in tomatoes. The difference in the quality of tomatoes you get. We don't water our vegetable gardens, but I don't have a market garden. I just grow our own vegetables that I eat, the ones I like. And you don't have to water here in Florida, I don't believe. Birds agree. They like the water though. So we have all these encephalardos that I planted and spent a small fortune on, that are doing great without ever being watered here. I don't water any of this stuff, nothing. The stuff that I have turned the water on are stuff like this, which was a nursery grown freaking achacha tree that just, some nurseries plants do not do as well as other nurseries plants. I'm not sure if that's because of the location or what, but soil conditions, living cover, I don't know. I just know that in order for us to dry farm, I had to leave the plants that grew where I planted it, that were there when I planted it, in the ground. Otherwise, so like, this is a little citrus I planted last end of summer, I think. And I think it's a pomelo. And so if I removed all this stuff that's there, the bidens and the different types of grasses, I could see 2 different types of grasses and some other stuff, whatever that is, some mint, some wild mint. This is all stuff that comes up by itself here in Florida. In Florida, we have the biology. We have the plants. They want to grow. The plants that nature puts there will enable your plant to live without being watered. And everything is like that. Even the stuff that likes water, as I've found, is like, it's not true that you have to water them. Mangoes especially taste so incredible dry farmed. I mean, they are like so good. You will eat so many, you will make yourself sick like I did. I'm finally able to eat mangoes again. I started with just a half of one. So I guess you just have to show some control, which I didn't. But they're freaking good. And our dry farm mangoes are organic, the only organic mangoes grown in Florida. Certified. Top tier mangoes are grown here without water, and they've never been watered, none of them. They just are incredible. And this is the Monstera deliciosa that, you know, I just showed you that note of. And I could feel the aggregation under my feet walking. Of course, it could be a snake, I guess. So this is our deliciosa, and I've did a lot of cuttings off this year, and they all grow. You just cut it and put it in the ground. It didn't seem to mind the 31 degrees, and They grow like weeds, like everything in Florida, if you just get away from it. Get away from it, leave it alone. So I guess, how do you eat that? I'm gonna have to do a video on Monstera deliciosa. But looks like it's covered in fruit. I'm sure those are all fruits. Is that normal to have 5 fruits on one, or 4 fruits on one thing? I don't know. I've never seen it flower before. This came up by itself. All this stuff, these trees. But then I have cacao and I have a bunch of garcinias in here. Big ones, bigger ones that do well. And cacao. All dry farmed for the most part. Might be, there's some starfruit trees in there that get water, and when I water, I turn on the water around, I don't know, January 1st maybe? And it went through till May. I turned it off. But only like a few trees, not the majority of the trees. None of the stuff in this area is on water. The cacao is, I can see it there and there, there and there. And there's some garcinias and stuff planted in here. I noticed the garcinias, I'm gonna start doing this, planted with the Inga, grows super fast. So just plant them in the same hole from seed. So to get them to be good water fruit trees, or fruit trees that you can get to grow without ever having to water them, I think it's important you have to biologically inoculate the soil. Or not the soil, but biologically, yeah, inoculate the soil too, but biologically inoculate the seeds. So that they grow a rhizosheath around the roots, and you just pop them in the ground, and we plant them during drought. So it's a win-win situation. The biology here in Florida, it's amazing. It's totally amazing. So this is all like stuff that you need. If you removed like this all from around this banana, it wouldn't have grown like this. This was like planted during the drought. All these were. And they've never been watered. You don't have to water bananas. You don't really have to water anything. And the dry farm stuff is, I mean, that's a known way to improve flavor of your food. So of course we do it. It's quality over quantity. Is it really worth eating all that systemic fungicide with your mangoes and all the chemical nutrients and pollutants that are in the water, which is a reason why you don't want to water, probably here in Florida? Would be my guess. It would have to be all be polluted. So cacao is just totally like, it's just like the poster child for It's the poster child for what they say you can't do, you can do here in Florida. And we don't water it. It also seems to enjoy being planted with multiple trees in the same hole. So I did it here, and I did it here. If you use seeds, you can plant more of them. You just gotta assume a lot of them are gonna die. You can't, it's not for the faint of heart, for the person that buys one plant at a time for hundreds of dollars because they can, and would lose all kinds of money if it died. So you have to kind of like, but anybody can afford to do it because seeds are not that expensive. That's what I'm trying to say. Seeds are, everyone can afford to plant seeds, and the trees do better. Garcinias, we grow lots of achachas. Most of our achachas are all dry farmed. Like the majority of them. We have a lot of them, seed grown. Of course, it's Florida now. It's the rainy season, so we get like 10 inches of water, and could be 2 days sometimes, a lot of times. And if you don't have the biology covering your soil, you're gonna have water issues. Oh, the bananas are looking good, people. Black zapotes are setting out a second bloom, so I'm kind of excited to see what that does. So when you dry farm and grow organic mangoes, the sugar ants don't come for it. Sugar ants always used to come in our house when I bought the nursery grown mangoes, because that's pretty much what all the rest of them are. And we'd bring the mangoes in and sugar ants would be there, but they don't come for bugs don't come for our fruit. And it takes a long time for our mangoes to ever go bad. You can leave them in the refrigerator for a long time without them fermenting. And that's because we dry farm them. Dry farmed is naturally farmed. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And we know that this stuff in Florida that comes up by itself, that grows by itself, is important and healthy for most of it. All this ginger, I planted a ginger all through here, along here, the trail on both sides. So it's starting to come up. Ginger officinalis, I guess. No water necessary. If you start using water, your plants become addicted to it. I mean, it all kind of makes sense. If nature is providing the water, because water moves also down and up, that your food is going to taste better if the plants are doing what's best for it. If you're getting fruit off of it and you're building soil around the tree, things are working. I'm not talking compost, though. Adding compost is important. And if you added compost to this, everything would grow like weeds. But it's just, I have to do everything the same way, so there's no way I could do that unless I had an army of people in here, and to be honest with you, that would probably destroy this place. Anyway, this is Frog Valley Tropical Fruit Farm, and I just wanted to talk about dry farming rare tropical fruit trees in Florida and how easy it is. Good for fruit tasting. Have a good day.